Hello, good morning. Welcome to another video. Today's video is all about building a healthy routine. This is something that I think I've struggled with the last few months just because I haven't had any routine at all. But I think it's so necessary to have like a well-balanced life. And we talked about building habits, and I think that goes really nicely with creating a routine and a schedule for yourself. We're gonna be working on this together, and I'm excited to figure this out this week and kind of get myself back on a nice schedule and routine and feeling like I have some sort of structure to my life. I feel like I work better with routine and structure, and that's why the last few months have been a little bit all over the place for me, because I haven't given myself something to guide me through the week. And I think also because I'm in this reinvention era, I haven't really sat down and thought about, okay, what do I want my day-to-day to look like and how can I make that happen? As you know, every single video does come with a worksheet so that you can follow along with me and join me on this journey of being a better you. So there is a worksheet down below. Pull that out because we are going to be doing this together. So the first thing that we need to do is identify what we want and need to do throughout the week. I kind of did this a while back when we were talking about setting goals. I created this table that broke down my goals for the year, and it broke it down into what the goal is, how I can accomplish that if I break it down from like year, month, week, day. I'm gonna take those things and input that into the worksheet. So weekly, what are some things that I want and what are some things I need to do? I would say wants are for sure, I want to do some sort of like hobby for myself. And right now I'm really into, or something creative. So I really want to keep my coloring going. I know it's something so silly and it seems trendy, but I love coloring. I've always really loved coloring. So I'm honestly gonna put coloring on my wants. The next thing on my wants is I want to read more. I feel like I have a Kindle and I just don't make time for it, even though it's something that I really love to do. And I think it expands my mind and I learn new things. And I just find it to be such a relaxing thing that I just want to read more. So I want to make time for reading. And then I know this is kind of silly, or at least it seems silly, but I want to get ready every single morning, whether that's putting on like a different outfit, even though I'm not going anywhere, doing my hair and makeup, one or the other, or both. I want to get ready in the morning. And I think that helps me just stay motivated throughout the day and not feel like slumpy. So I'm gonna put that on the wants. That way I can import this when we do create the routine for the week. Okay, and then last on here is I wanna make sure that I'm spending time connecting with family and friends, and also spending time with Daisy. So I'm gonna say under the wants, or that could also be under needs. Either way, I'm just gonna put wants. I'm gonna say time with Daisy, and then I'm gonna have another one that says connecting with friends. That way I add that into the routine that I'm gonna create. Okay, so then needs, on the needs side of things, oh, actually on wants, I should probably also put like moved. We'll start there. Like I said, when I created my goals, movement, we're building on it. It's gonna be movement for now, and eventually I'm hoping that that will turn into like full-on workouts again. Okay, so needs. Needs, I definitely need to make sure that I create time for creating content. Specifically, I have OFTV, TikTok, and Instagram and YouTube. So those are the main things that I feel like I need to cover and make sure that I make time to do that. So right now I'm just gonna put content, and I'm gonna break it down into content. I'm gonna put OF and then content socials. So that's a need, that's a must. I also have to make time for emails, and I also have to make time for brand deals and custom content. So those will go hand in hand because they're kind of things that I have to plan to do. And they're not just, or I guess not, obviously I have to plan all of it, but they're kind of things that I have like a script for, or like I have bullet points for. So I'm gonna put customs and brand deals. I would say like editing. I'm also gonna put admin stuff on here. just in case there's anything other than emails and editing that fall into that category and I need some more time. I also have to make time for Fansly, which is where I host my coaching. Which is where I host my coaching. If you are learning how to do social media specifically, it is on spicy content, but I talk about everything, and it's just honestly life coaching at this point too. Also, under needs, we should think about, because we're building a whole entire routine, we also have to think about like self-care and then also like home care. So I'm gonna put home care and self-care I'll put under wants. Obviously the get ready is self-care, and like reading and coloring is self-care, but I think there's also other things that probably should fall into that, like skincare routines and, you know, showering. Like I want to create a full routine, and I want to include every little aspect of that routine. So it's like wake up, work out, take a shower. Like I really want to build it out so that I have a solid routine. And if you want to have more of a loose routine, like on Mondays I do this, on Tuesdays I do that, or like however, I mean, this is completely up to you, but for me, I really wanted to at least have a routine that feels consistent. I feel like that's gonna work best for me. We've done the basics, we've done the outline. Time to complete part 2 of this activity for the day. Yes, I changed my shirt. I was just shooting content. Part of my routine is getting content done earlier in the day because I find that if I wait, I don't want to do it. So now that we broke it down into wants and needs and what we need to do throughout the week, now you have to think about this. Do you want to, like I said, have a flexible kind of schedule where it's like days of the week you choose to do certain things, or do you want to have like a constant routine every single day? For me personally, I want to do it daily. I am breaking mine down into basically every day I do want similar things. So Monday through Thursday, I want the days to look basically the same. That way I can do a little bit of every category every single day rather than like spending a whole entire day doing content. Instead, it's like I do a little bit of content Monday through Thursday, and that way I'm not like overwhelmed that one full day of content and I just feel exhausted, or one full day of like admin work and editing and I feel exhausted. I'd rather break it down. That way I don't feel like so overwhelmed by one task. Or like if I really don't want to do a task, at least I only have to do a little bit that day and then I can pick it up again the next day. So that's what I want to do Monday through Thursdays. Fridays, I'm going to have a little more flexibility just because Daisy and I like to normally do stuff on the weekends, and Sunday we kind of use as a cleaning day. So that's going to be a priority for Sundays, is making sure that Sundays are our cleaning days. Saturdays are our free days, and Friday, like I said, is like a half day for me. So I'll be a little bit more flexible on what I need to do on Friday mornings. And it probably won't be shooting content. It'll probably be like any last minute admin type stuff. How I really want to do this is early in the morning. It is getting the movement in, getting a workout in, that sort of thing. And like I said, I'm going to start really, really small with this. Movement is fine. That's a good starting place so that I don't feel pressured by it. Then showering, getting ready, making breakfast. I tend to skip breakfast. I tend to not eat breakfast. I want to get on a good habit with just eating breakfast, even if it's something small and light, like a smoothie or something like that, eating breakfast. Then I want to go into maybe looking at what it is that I have to do that day. So on Mondays, I will say, again, that's going to be sort of like those days where I break down the week and kind of sit down and look at the whole week and maybe plan out my schedule like I used to do color blocking. Maybe I start to implement a little bit of that back into my routine because it did help a lot at the time. And then slowly I was moving into more of a checklist thing, and right now the checklist is not working for me. It's crazy because the checklist only worked for a few months, and then now I I'm like craving having consistency again and having a maintained schedule. So I'm going to go back into color blocking and I'll show you what I do. So a little bit of admin Monday through Thursday mornings after I do the things that I mentioned. Then any content that needs to be done, I'm doing that right after, since I'm already dressed, already ready, content. And then after that, I can do the admin email type stuff. So that's gonna be kind of like the schedule I hope to stick to. And part of this week is trying to actually maintain that schedule and actually do what it is that I want to try. That's what I mean by you can have 2 different styles. So like if you like it where you just fill out each day for a certain thing, like Sunday's cleaning house day, Monday admin, Tuesday content shooting, Wednesday editing, where it's just very simple, you have a lot of flexibility. That's one way of doing it. Or down below, you can fill out each day for certain tasks, or you can even fill out a section that is just your everydays. So far, I'm filling out my own so I can see which style is gonna work best for me. You are not gonna believe what happened this week. Okay, so this is such, like, it's so ironic, just the things. Like, life is such a contradiction, really, honestly. It's funny because I was just reading a comment. I was like, oh, I love the format of these videos. And then my response was, they're not perfect yet, but I'm like working on it and like I'm excited for like the journey, obviously. That video was all about letting go of perfection and perfectionism. So I thought it was ironic that I used that word. And then I went to go turn on the camera and I'm like, it is Thursday. The last time I talked to you was Monday. The ironic part is obviously this week is all about routine and like sticking to that and trying to find a routine that works for you. And life sometimes is crazy and you can't actually follow a routine because there are weird bumps in the road. So on Tuesday morning, we had been having problems for a few nights. Raisin wasn't sleeping. He would wake up every 2 hours and have, should I even say it? His stuff was like wet. Like it was just like not, and it was just not, you know, it wasn't solid. And it was every 2 hours. So we were waking up and he was like, obviously not, he was just uncomfortable. Like his stomach was twisted in turns and knots. And you could tell like he would be rolling around all night. And then he'd be not crying, but kind of like whimpering a little bit. Monday night, it was happening a lot, like I said, like every 2 hours. And we woke up on Tuesday morning and he started throwing up. And we're like, this is not good. Like, this isn't just like, oh, I have a little tummy flu or whatever was going on. Or like, I ate something that upset my stomach. Like, there is something seriously wrong. So we went to the vet and he was there all day. We had to get an appointment, so we went there early, and then they said they didn't have an appointment for like 2 hours, so we had to wait around for 2 hours because we don't want to drive there and back and all that. So we were at Starbucks, and we had to, like, then we were there with him for like an hour or so while they were kind of like figuring things out. Then, so like hours had passed. The day was long gone by the time we even got home, and we were worried sick that he had something stuck in his stomach because that's what they were thinking. They were like, oh, he's probably not digesting his food and that's why he threw it up and there's probably something in there. So we were just worried all day on Tuesday. We're like, if he ate something and has to go into surgery, one, he's a tiny little puppy. Like that would be honestly devastating. I could cry even thinking about it. And two, that's gonna be so expensive. Even just the x-rays and appointments that we did was so expensive. Like, I knew dogs were expensive, but like, obviously this is my first dog as a grown adult. So I was like, goddamn, just for 2 x-rays and like him being there all day, it was a lot. So we were just like, please, 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 like, please let him be okay and let it just be like, I don't know what. So we didn't get called until they were closing. We got called 10 minutes before they were closing and they were like, okay, you can come get him now. And they didn't say anything. They didn't tell us like, what we were like, is he good? Or like, what. And so we get there and they're like, he has gas. He has gas. They tested his stuff, like his stool. Well, yeah, that's good. They tested his stool. It was fine. There's no like parasites or anything. They did the 2 x-rays. There was nothing in his stomach. He has gas. He has gas. I was worried sick all day for that little sucker to have gas. Then yesterday, Rufus had to go to the vet as well because he has like this white line down his nose. And at first we thought it was hair. And then Daisy took a closer look. This has been on there for like months now. And I always just thought he was like going gray like his mama. And so I'm like, oh yeah, it's just hair. Daisy takes a better look and she's like, it's kind of like, it looks like pimples. And we're like, that's weird, because he obviously gets pimples, but they were like so tiny, just like in a strip on his nose. And then Daisy looks it up and it's like she thinks it's like fungus, like something crazy, like some like growing out like shit on his nose, right? So we're freaking out. We take him to the vet. They do like a whole little routine. Honestly, it was the funniest, cutest little thing ever. So that was yesterday, and we had to go, like, I had therapy in the morning, so like therapy took up an hour in the morning, and then we had to drive an hour to go to his vet because he's an exotic animal. Who would have thought? These pets that they sell at PetSmart, right, for children, no one takes them. Like, they're exotic animals. Well, I guess because he's a hairless one, but they do sell it at fucking, you know, they sell hairless guinea pigs everywhere to like children. I just don't understand. Anyway, he's an exotic animal. Who fucking knew? And so you have to go to like this exotic vet. So it takes an hour to go get over there. Then we are there for a fucking hour. Then we leave for 5 hours. And then I was starving. I was literally so hungry. So by the time I got home, it was 4 p.m. It was 4 p.m. Ask me how, I have no idea. Driving in LA is crazy. And I was like, I need to eat and I need to like check the fuck out. Like, I am done. I cannot work today either. Like, it's 4 o'clock. That was Tuesday and Wednesday. Now we're here. It's Thursday. Sometimes your routine isn't gonna work. Let's talk about that part of routine, because I think it's important, because it's life. Things happen and we're not always in control of our routine. But if you've watched the Building Habits video, that's good to kind of get you into the routine. But then there's another aspect of routine and habits that are really important. You know, it takes like a week when you move to adjust to a new place. And it takes, I think, 90 days to be solid with your new habit. So like, say like brushing your teeth. We brush our teeth every single day, 2-3 times a day, you know, and it feels so natural. It fits into our routine no matter what. But let's say something happens, you went camping, your toothbrush got lost on the way up to the hike there or whatever, and you don't have a toothbrush. So you improvise, you use your finger, or you do whatever you can, right? You improvise, or say you lost the toothpaste and the toothbrush, and so you just rinse it out with water and call it a day for the night. You do what you can, right? So it's the same thing with routine. So we have to build the habit of our routines so that we can either improvise or we will just pick it back up when we can. So I think that's really, really important to touch on, that just because something's thrown off the week doesn't mean you can't still continue the next day or even when you get home. Like, obviously, if I would have gotten home at like, say, 2 p.m. yesterday, I probably still would have worked. But it was just so late and I was just so exhausted. You know, improvise. Figure out what you can do in the time that's allotted or in the space that you have. Or, you know, say you're on a week-long vacation, you still have to get some of your routine done. Like, you really do want to work out. Maybe you wake up before everybody else and do a little run, or you go to the gym at the hotel or whatever it is. But I think it's super important to talk about that part of habits and routines, because it's easy to just say, oh, I didn't do it, I'm gonna forget about it now. It's so easy to do that. Like, obviously our brain wants to do that, but the best thing to do is just get back on the horse or improvise until you can actually do it the right way. So as you know, I wrote out a table of what I want my year to look like. I broke it down into months, weeks, days. And then I also wrote out a list of like top priorities for my routine. So given that, I want to dive into what you might add to your routine. 2 very important parts of planning your routine is your mornings and your evenings. They are your recovery time and your preparation time for a packed day. Building out a really solid morning routine and night routine can help you with your whole routine throughout the day, because I think sometimes the day part is what can scramble up. But your morning and evening routine can be very grounding. I heard this TikTok yesterday or the day before, and it was like, don't be the person you are, be the person who you want to be. Okay, I figured it out. It is done. I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see this, but I did my whole entire calendar. I made it so that every single week is the same. Obviously, if I need to move things around, I can. you know, some days are better than others. So here's the schedule. Hello, friends. Okay, so it is still Thursday. I actually got so much done today. I am so proud of myself. I feel like color blocking, for some reason, it didn't work all summer long for me. Like, I was like so all over the place. I couldn't figure it out. But now that things are calmed down again, I am so excited to get back into color blocking. So I showed you my calendar and everything, so I thought I'd run you through like how I kind of organize my calendar and why I color code everything. First and foremost, I color code everything because if it was all one color, it would probably cause my mind chaos. I like to see things broken up, I guess. The second thing is I can see if I'm prioritizing one aspect of things more or less than the others. So say I have like a bunch of admin work on my calendar, but I'm not doing any content creation, and then I would be able to visually see, oh, I really haven't done any content creation. So those are the main reasons. So far, I've been really, really good today at keeping to my little color coordination, and I moved a few things around, I will say. Like right now I'm filming a YouTube clip, which was a little earlier in the day. But I pick up the camera like throughout the day anyway, so it's not the end of the world. Hopefully I'll be able to continue with this and not fall off again. I think when things get hard, then that's when I start to kind of lose it a little bit. Or when I'm emotionally distressed, I definitely fall off the rocker. I fall off the plan. We're getting back on. It's gonna be fine.